Hi, I'm here with an alumni, Miss Toni Russell, Mr. Russell's sister. So I'm just gonna ask you a couple of questions, little interview. It's gonna be fun. All right. So tell me your time at SHC since you're an alumni. I just want to hear what were your experiences like? What were you in? What did you like? Just go for it.
So I went to Sacred Heart from 1997 to 2001, class of 2001. I was a DePaul scholar. I ran track and I played varsity basketball. I think I ran varsity track as well, all 4 years. I was very, very much into my books, very much an introvert. I had a solid group of friends, I would say, in the class below me, and I was really good friends with my teammates. So I think that's how I spent my time, either in the library or in the gym or hanging out with my friends at lunch. I came from Presidio Middle School, which was a public school. I've been in public school my entire life. So because Lorian, my older brother, went to Sacred Heart, I felt like my parents made me go to Sacred Heart. And at the time, I didn't really agree, but in hindsight, it was probably one of the best experiences of my life. I got to play basketball with some great people. And I think I really had a chance to figure out what kind of learner I was and appreciate a small class setting in a private school setting. So I was appreciative for my experience.
That's great. I love that. How was it to be a pioneer in bringing the school to its first state championship?
Oh my goodness. That was probably one of my most memorable moments in life. When I played at Presidio, we went 3 years undefeated, never lost a game. So like Lorraine will tell you, like, I'm a poor sport. I don't know how to lose. I'm a crybaby. Don't know how to lose. My freshman year, when we like first lost a game at Sacred Heart, I was like sick and like crying about it. But to finish that year with, I think we had 8 players. I got to play with Sarah Richin, who actually was working at Sacred Heart for a while as well and coached there. It was an amazing experience. Like, it was all that hard work that we had put in, all the screaming that we had had from our head coach, Brian Harrigan, and all the time that our other coaches and teammates had invested. It was amazing. And we were honored by the mayor that year. We just got so much press, but I think we were such a close knit team that the biggest part was just sharing such a historical moment with one another. And I think we had 5 freshmen on that team, 4 freshmen, 5 freshmen, and most of us started. And it was a pretty amazing, pretty dope experience. I don't think I've won a lot of championships, won a lot of games, but that one by far is probably the most important, because I feel like we were the first to bring one back, and we were a women's team. That was huge. That was a lot of times when the men's team and the football team were getting a lot of press. So it just felt like a huge accomplishment and something that we can be proud of, and that, the banner still hangs on the wall in the old gym probably, but it was a great experience. Never forget it.
That's great. I love that. Congratulations also for winning. Which college did you go to, and why did you choose that college?
So I think in our household, we knew that the quickest way and easiest way to get to college was on some type of scholarship, whether it was academic or athletic. So I ended up receiving an athletic scholarship to University of San Francisco. I played basketball for the Lady Dons under Mary Heil. And I chose USF because my other options to play basketball were kind of not as inviting. I had the opportunity to play in front of family, friends, my middle school coaches, and where I felt really comfortable in my city, versus going to, I think I had an offer from San Luis Obispo and Boise State. So it just felt like the right place to stay and play, where I was comfortable and had the support. So USF.
That's cool. What major did you choose?
Yes, so I majored in psychology and I minored in sociology. I declared my major as soon as I got in. I ended up taking a class with Dr. Link. I believe that was at Sacred Heart at the time. And he was my psychology teacher. And it was like my really first exposure to the study of human behavior in the brain. So it was something that I was just intrigued by. It was different for me. It didn't have a lot of math, and I wanted to choose something that fed on my strengths, and it was just a great fit. So I ended up like finishing my major pretty early. So that's why I minored in sociology and possibly could have double minored in Spanish, which I kind of wish in hindsight I did. But yeah, psych and soc.
That's cool. What do you do right now?
Besides being a full-time mom to a 5-year-old, I am a health and wellness instructor at a preschool through 8th grade school. I teach preschool through 5th grade. And then I'm also an admissions coordinator. So I have like half teacher, half administrator. And I've played a lot of different roles at my time at the school that I'm at. I'm at the San Francisco school currently. I'm sure you guys have some kids from our school there. But yeah, I love my job. I love working with kids every day. No 2 days are the same. So I'm appreciative for that. I could never sit behind a desk. My attention span is super short, and my body tells me that I need to be moving all the time. So it feels like it's a good fit for me.
That's so cool. What made you like say, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna work at the school and I'm gonna like help students? Like, what got you to that point? You're like, yes, this is what I want to do.
I've had so many different jobs. It feels like I think taking those chances and working in jobs that you're not sure about lets you know what you really want to work, where you really want to work, and what you want to do. Adults are not my strength. I have a lot of faith in kids, the youth. I had worked in public schools, and the school that I'm currently at is I'm super mission aligned with it, my values and how I want to raise my kid and what I believe in, and social justice just really align with the school that I'm at. And I've had the opportunity to grow as an employee there and as a person there. When I started 12 years ago, I wasn't married, I didn't have a kid, I didn't know what I was going to be doing the next year. And now I feel like it was a place that I've had a huge amount of professional development. I've got to try on a lot of different hats, and now I'm a parent at the school because I send my son there as well. So it's just a place where I was able to grow as a person and learn a lot about a different group of kids that I've never worked with. I've really only ever worked in public schools. So working in the private school setting was very eye-opening for a lot of different reasons. So it feels like a good fit, a great experience so far.
That's great. How was your experience being an African-American woman going to SHCP?
Woo! Yeah, you all have a lot more students of color than they had when I was attending. I believe in my graduating class, there was about 2.5 Black girls and probably less than 6 or 7 Black boys. So total like less than 10 African-American kids at the time. That is a really good question. Although that's what I identified as, it's just, it was something I was used to, being like one of the only African-American students in your class. And I was okay with that. It just wasn't a super comfortable place to be all the time or truly bring your whole self to school. And don't get me wrong, I had great friends of many different backgrounds and ethnicities, and I was grateful to learn from them. But there is something about having, those mirror experiences where you have people that look like you and talk like you and come from your same neighborhood. I didn't even have any African-American teachers, I don't believe either. At the time I was there, I don't think I thought about it that much, but in hindsight, I definitely wish I would have had an experience to at least connect it with another teacher or student that was also African-American and kind of experiencing the same thing. But nonetheless, I was very, very goal-oriented. So, I mean, I took care of business, had good grades, played sports, I'm very much an introvert. So it worked, but I think it would have been a more enriching experience had I had that connection.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely agree. What does Black History Month mean to you? Or what does Black history mean to you?
That is a good question. I think growing up, there was some uncomfortableness about it, being like the only African-American kid in your class. Usually it's like everybody looked to you to be like an expert, or sometimes, you're uncomfortable talking about the struggles of Black people. But now as an educator, as a mom, I see Black History Month as not just, these 28, 29 days, whatever we get nowadays to celebrate. It's something that I try to incorporate year round. It's a pride that I try to instill in my child. You know, there's a pride about being brown, having brown skin, coming from African heritage. So it's something that I've seen as a month growing up to like turning it into a year long experience. And, you know, considering the climate that we live in, I think it's even more important that we're educating ourselves, we're educating our youth. And what I think came full circle was also just bringing awareness to the people around you. Sometimes you might know a lot about your background and where you come from, but we don't grow as a people, as a nation, as a school, as an institution, if the people that you are with every day don't have that same awareness or same appreciation or same understanding. So it's about educating yourself, because, you know, the history books don't tell you everything. Usually with Black history, everything starts at slavery in America and goes from there. And there was so much more that happened before then, so much more that happened after that, and so much more that we should be celebrating on a daily basis about being African American that can get lost in a month where you're celebrating Lunar New Year, President's Day break, like just, I think just spreading that out across the year and not just focusing on a month to just celebrate our history is huge and is important.
Well, you did amazing. That's all of the questions I have for you.